Hey guys, welcome back to King's Outdoor Life. It's, what is it, Monday? Yes, Monday. It's about 6:30 at night, but it's still blazing hot. So, gonna do a couple things here today. I noticed some corn have been drugged down into the woods, and that's usually raccoons doing that. So I'm gonna set a couple traps for the raccoons. Thought I might as well, while I've got my trap bucket out, I may go ahead and set one for coyotes over there too. They're always running around. And coyotes are terrible on watermelons. Coyotes and deer are bad on watermelons. So I thought I might get a little proactive strike there on those two guys. Well, not on the deer, but on the raccoons for the corn and the coyotes before they get in my watermelon patch. And I'm also going to make a scarecrow here in a couple, maybe a week or two, maybe this week if we can get around to it. So anyway, that's what we're going to try to do while it's still blazing hot. I'll ride up there on the golf cart and do that. And then if we get around to it tonight, after the sun goes down maybe, we'll do a little welding, hopefully. So anyway, that's the plan. Thanks for watching, share, subscribe, and click on the notify so you get the notification so you get these videos when I upload them. Thanks again. So I'm right here in the woods in my trail, just off the cornfield. And here's where you can see some stalks that were drugged down. So I'm just going to sit one right here by this tree. It'd be a good spot. This is called a dog-proof trap. These, as the name implies, are good because you won't catch somebody's dog by sticking their hand down in there and grabbing the food, because dogs don't have hands like raccoons do to grab their food. So these, you can pick these up. I don't know, you know, most of the Cabela's or those kind of places have them, but anyway, to set them, you squeeze it down like that, grab that trigger, and this is actual trigger down in there. It's got to be raised up. I'll hold it close enough, maybe you can see it there. So once I get this trigger mechanism turned like so, it goes in there and it's set. So it's not deployed when it pushes down, it deploys when it pulls back up. So what we'll do is we'll set this right here by this tree. Got some wire, some secret sauce, and we'll set this up right here. So I'll go through my chain here that holds the trap and wrap it around. And we'll tighten this up here. So I like chaining them to a tree or wiring them to a tree because I don't have to worry about a bad ground and pulling up a stake. So I've just had better luck with them on a tree. You know, I'm not an expert trapper. I've gone to 2 or 3 seminars about it and learned how to do this, but by far not an expert. So this, just push it straight down in the ground. We'll clear out a spot here, make it a little bit more inviting for them. And our secret weapon here is cat food. So put a little cat food down the end of the trap itself and around it, because we want them to smell this. So I'm going to clear this out. And this is like a wild grape and Virginia creeper I'm digging in here. Don't think I'm in poison ivy, though there looks like a little poison ivy. So anyway, I put a little of this on the ground. And the next thing I want to do is I want something else with a little bit more scent. So I've got some vein of sausages here, probably my supper here in a little bit, and I'll pour a little of that here down on top of this, and maybe that scent will get them intrigued. So one for me, well, half of one for me, half of one for the raccoons there, and a little bit more food there. So anyway, we'll come back and check this every day to make sure we catch something. So I'm right here in the corner of the woods. It's kind of a natural pinch point where that food plot is there, and these woods come together here. There's a pasture down this way, and then my trails go in both directions this way. These, sorry for the sun blinding you there, these coyotes and stuff, they use these trails. So I just came right off the trail here, and I dug out a big area here, and what I'm going to do, they call this a dirt hole set. You want to make it look like some animal's been out there digging. This is just a bit that is used for planting bulbs that I found somewhere along the way. And you want to make it look like some animal has found something and they've buried it up in this area right here. So I want to get pretty good dirt here. This is all fluffy, so I really don't want that fluffy, because I want a good firm base to set my trap in. I don't claim to be an expert. I don't know if I said this with the DogProof Trap or not. I don't claim to be an expert. If you're watching this video trying to find some expert on trapping, this is not I'm not your guy. But anyway, I do know a little bit, and listening to people who do this for a living, trying to do it the best I can. So I want to try to get this hole dug out here. Again, make it look like an animal, make it look natural, make it look like an animal has dug this hole. And you say, well, animals don't dig holes. So let's come right over here. Look right here at this. What's that? Some animal dug that hole just in the last couple, 3 days. You know, was he burying something or what? So your bait and your lure will get them here, and you want them to get here and try to figure out what is back in that hole. What animal hid something that I want back in that hole? We'll set our trap right here, but we want to get their interest back in this hole here. So I'm gonna drill this out, and I'll try to maybe back the golf cart up and get a good foundation to show you, set the camera up so I can show you how to set this trap. All right, so the trap we're setting here is not a dog-proof trap. It's also not a people-proof trap. This trap will bite you. If you've never seen one of these or done these before, these springs here are very strong. You have to put this down, set this is called a dog. You have to set that right there under this plate. Let the dog catch right there. And then when something steps on this, pow, it will catch them. So this has been in my bucket here for a little while, a little rusty, but it'll still work. I'm gonna move it around a little bit, make sure it's gonna move about okay, and it is. We'll test that before we set it here. But anyway, I'm gonna have to use my feet to set this one. It's very strong, so I'll step on it. It may be out of frame, but I'll step on it. All right, sorry about that. I had to step out of frame to get this one set, but if you've never seen one of these before, what you want to do, they'll sit on the ground like so. And what happens is any pressure that's put on this plate right here should throw the trap. So I'm going to push down on it. You want to get it, well, before we set this, we'll get it all the way to the edge. I want it to be as light as possible. So basically then, if anybody pressure is put on that, it will do that. All right, let's get it reset again. We'll see how it goes. All right, so we're gonna set this right here. We're gonna drive this stake. The rule is you wanna be 9 inches back from your hole there. So we'll go right here with this. I failed to mention what I'm doing here is pulling on this to make sure my stake has got a really good tight hold in the ground. I have lost coyotes where they pulled up my stake. Typically they're not going to pull that stake straight up. They're going to try to pull obviously at some angle, and typically you will not lose them. Alright, so now this one's not going anywhere. I can reach under this side and check it. I think it's in good shape there. I'm going to try to get a good base to set this on so it doesn't go anywhere. Now, people use all kinds of things to cover these traps. I just use leaves. I think the more natural the smell, the better, because you don't want this dirt to get under it. These old timers claim that you're not going to eliminate all your smell, so you can't even, don't worry about not wearing gloves or wearing gloves. They're going to smell you. What they say is just try to set a good trap that they can't see. Make sure it's firm if they step on it, and try to give them some good bait to step. You want to get them here to step on it. So we'll cover this up like so. So what we want to do is we want to look like when we finish here, There's no difference in any of this surrounding ground. I don't want these roots here. I don't want them to not step somewhere, because if they're cautious, we don't want them to not step somewhere because something looks different. So we want this to look all the same here and nothing different except where our bait's going to be. So this hole is drilled back at an angle so they can't get around it and come in it and dig on it. But if they step right there, they should be caught. So here's our lure. There's lure and there's bait, and this stuff stinks to high heaven. So we'll get a little of this and we'll put this right here on this stick, and then we want to put some bait down in the hole. So I thought I had more dog proofs in my bucket, but I didn't. So I got extra vein of sausages. I'll throw a vein of sausage down in the hole, and I got some other bait here. I'll get a little twig of it. Let's see, a little twig. Get a little twig of this stuff here, and we'll stick it down in the hole too. So anyway, this looks okay. Got enough of a backing here. Backing means you don't want them to try to come around it. So this is kind of a deterrent here. They don't want to come around it, but maybe they'll come right here to it. So anyway, that's basic set. We'll check that every day to make sure we don't get anything good or bad. So my granddad taught us how to burn these brush piles, and the rule was you always had to turn the brush the same way. So in this case, this way. You can turn, you know, big ends on this side or big ends on that side, but not cross them up like this, but all running the same way, and it'll make it burn better. And then you save your big ones to go on top to weight them down to make it burn. So I don't know if I can get those big ones on top of that pile because it's about 10 feet tall. So, my tractor won't reach that tall either. We'll see what we can do.
I'm gonna try to throw one up there, but I'm afraid it'll roll it off and undo my pile, so I'm gonna be real careful.
All right, just getting her started here, and then I'll use my ice melter or weed burner, whatever you call this thing. Got hiccups. Just over an hour later, I set this fire at right at 8 o'clock, and it's 9:08 right now. So good hot fire, and it's doing exactly what I want it to do. All those big logs are laying up against that stump, and the stump is glowing red, and all this stuff is burnt. Oh geez, hiccups. All this stuff is burning around it. So the inside of that stump is burning nicely. You can see up under it, or maybe you can see up under it, there's a good little area that air is getting under it. So that's good. That'll help it burn. That'll help it burn up. So anyway, this should burn nicely. And I'm gonna try to throw some of these limbs that aren't burning. Let me try to throw them up on it.